Good morning, traders. This is Chris Buss with Traders Profit Compass with a technical look at the FAANG names for Thursday, August 20th. Okay, starting out with Facebook, we've got the 60-minute chart here. Yesterday, we were talking about this Bollinger Band compression that was spring-loading price. Early morning, we got this big impulsive move higher that took out this 666.60 level, which proved to be a head fake, a false breakout, then a pullback back into the range. I was really surprised. I thought that with this volatility, compression, and then the expansion, that this was just going to go. So I was surprised by that. Now, in the pre-market low, is best I can tell, price came back in here to test 261 and has put in a marginal bounce up into this 263 area. So for today, if you wanted to actively trade this, I think you've got to key off at 261 and this 266.60 level. If 261 were to break, I would be getting short and looking for a back test of this 256 level. And if things really started to fall apart, if price dropped in below this 256, I think you'd see a move into this 249 area, and I can't imagine it happening today, but we've got a huge gap down here to fill. That'll, if things start falling apart, then obviously a break below 249, you'd have to be short, looking for a gap fill down to 233, but that's way down the road. This morning, 261, I think above that you can be bullish. I think if it broke out above 266.60, you can be long and look for a move higher. This fall compression is still active, even though we had this yesterday. Volatility is still compressed, and I wouldn't be surprised for a move in either direction that's a little bit more than expected, just because of that. And what gives me caution on the long side, and we'll see this at a couple other charts on FAANG, is remember what we talked about before. A break above a range, and then a failed breakout, bringing it back into the range. That's a bearish move, and normally the target's the bottom of the prior range, which is down here at 256. If you called this bar an outlier, you could say, okay, well, the bottom of the range is 261, 260. I'm not so sure about that. So anyways, I would not be shocked if price came down here to 256, if things got a little crazy this afternoon or today. But I think 261 is your line, kind of your pivot point. Above that, I think you can be long and adding above 266.60. Below, I would be short. Moving on to Apple. We had pretty much the same thing. I was in this trade yesterday. I got long, almost right at the open, above 465, and things were looking great. And then it started to roll over. I got out okay, with a decent little profit, $2 or $3. Which is fine. It wasn't what I was looking for. I was looking for a move up here to 475. But now we're back in this range, and just like we talked about, a head fake above and then a move back below. Normally the target's the bottom of the prior range, which is 455. So today, I think it sets up pretty simple. If price stays below 465, I think you need to lean bearish and look for 455. If price were to recapture 465, I think you can be long and see if we can take out this prior high around 469, I think it was. But today it's clear. 465 is your pivot point, bullish above and bearish below. This PPO profile is not very, how do I want to phrase it? Inspiring, not very inspiring. We've got a big bearish divergence going on. Our momentum peaked back here, and we've made a pretty decent advance, but on lower and lower momentum. And now, we've broken trend here on RSI. If we were to move below 50, and if this were to continue to curl over, head down, I think you're going to see price come back in to test this 455 area for a first test of support. Okay, moving on to Amazon. Amazon in the pre-market is back testing this 3250, 3247 level. I think that's like the perfect spot to be. If it holds, you can be long and look for a bounce. If it fails, I think you're coming back in here to 3200, which gives you $50 to play with. If that were to break, you got another 50 down to 3150. And these levels have been working like champs. So we've got basically 3250, 3200, 3150, and 3100. So $50 increments. If we break below, look for a move here to 3200. If we break that, then 3150. But as long as price stays above this 3247, 3250 area, I think the longs are fine. And if you are long, that's your line in the sand. That's your pivot point. If we were to drop below, I would exit your long positions. If you got trapped up here, I would be exiting those. So really nice level to shoot against here, 3250, 3247. Hard to fine tune $3 on a $3,000 stock. So, but this is your level, and it tested it in the pre-market and held. So that's a real good sign. It may come back in here even though it's bounced. If we open 3270 or something, come back and hold that. That would be a really nice place to try a long for a move higher. Obviously, a lot will have to do with what's going on in the market. Microsoft, another head fake. A lot of head fakes yesterday. A lot of false breakouts. I got trapped in a couple. 211 is your pivot. Above that is bullish. Below that is bearish. We tested 209 in the pre-market. I wouldn't be surprised if we came back and tested that again on the open. But, that looks like a false breakout. And as long as it stays below 211, I'd have to lean bearish. Now, if it recaptured it, I think you can flip and go long, but Microsoft has kind of been the weakest here lately. And, with price giving a fake move and coming back down into the range, if the market is soft, I wouldn't be surprised if this dribbles lower back into this zone here. Let's see, here at 207.50, you would probably have a little support right here. But other than that, I would be leaning to the bearish side, anything under 211. Moving on to Google. This setup looks a lot like the Amazon setup. Price in the pre-market has tested this 1535, 1540 area and has held, and it's bounced in the pre-market. As long as that holds 1538, 1540, I think you can stay long. But if that level fails, I would be getting out of your longs. You don't necessarily have to short it here. I mean, you can. I think breaking below this 1538 favors more downside. I did pencil in a new little intermediate trend line. If we do get a down move, you may get some support right in here at 1518, 1520, something like that. Because remember, this gap is filled now. This range has been, the gap's filled, so it's not really there. But I like to keep the levels because they do tend to continue to act as support and resistance on these moves, as you can see. So use 1538 as your pivot. Anything above is bullish, and below I'd be cautious or getting bearish and looking for a move back down towards the bottom of the box. And I'm sure you know this already. The FAANG names are 23, 24, 25% of the whole market. Even if you don't actively trade them, create a little montage on your platform or your monitor, and keep these 5 or 6 names. If you want to put Netflix in there or Tesla in there, they have a lot to say about what's happening, especially in the Qs. And if you see a lot of weakness in these FAAMG names, if you're trading the Qs, you can have a lot more confidence to be, long or short, or if you want to sit on the sidelines based on what the FAANG names are doing. So that's a real good thing to keep an eye on, even if you're not trading them specifically for trading the Qs and the overall market. Yesterday, I could see that whole thing unraveling in the 5-minute charts of the FAANG names. I have a screen that I keep an eye on with these names, and I could see it all happening, and you'll be able to see it too. They all tend to want to move together, and when they roll over, of course, the market rolls over. Okay, I hope this quick look helps for you today. This has been Chris Buss with Traders Profit Compass. If you like the content, please give me a thumbs up and register for the channel. Over in the show notes, places to visit the blog and to register for my content. I really appreciate your time this morning, and talk to you soon.